I've tried to support my wife's endeavors for years. However, it feels like no matter what I do, it's not right and she's not happy with me. Honestly, I'm at a point where I want to give up trying, but I don't really want a divorce. How can I avoid heading down that road? I think we just answered it. I think the answer came through the last question, that it really is about understanding that balance and really listening and keeping your heart open and getting more in your emotional side of things to hear what the deeper nuances are that your wife is feeling, and not judging her. I think as the masculine, it's really important to be realistic. So I'm not saying like, oh, just agree with everything she says, because this is specific to wife's endeavors for years. So I don't know, maybe she's an entrepreneur, maybe she's someone, I don't know what her background is. And she needs that unconditional support. But I think you also have to be able to speak your truth. Like, honey, are we at a place where we can talk about what the bigger picture of X, Y, and Z is? I have some ideas. I have some things that I might be able to support you with. And if she's not ready for it, she won't want to listen. And then you listen a little bit and then you come back to it and then lay out your big plan. So yes, definitely still speak your feelings. This is not a time to just, if you've been supporting for a long time, yeah, you want to really be able to provide that advice and that support for her. One of the things is I'm looking back at the last question too, and thinking about how these two are actually really similar in many ways. I didn't address the part about the spiritual community and that maybe she's been taken over by a cult. And I think that's a really strong feeling for you to have. And it might be because she's receiving so much support from that community and you're feeling very, pushed away from it. So I wouldn't jump to the conclusion that it's a spiritual cult. Actually, I would just really feel into that she's awakening and let her blossom. And that is the only way that you would ever potentially, and I'm not suggesting that this is the case, but that you would ever get her back is to let her blossom. And at this point, she's decided to do it on her own. So just really welcome that and don't fight that spiritual community. Do what you can to learn about it as opposed to project a judgment on it, because oftentimes we want to say, oh, well, that's the problem. Those are the people that are pulling this loved one away from me. And if you do that, what you're doing is you're jumping around the idea of what's the lesson for me? What's the lesson in the relationship? Why did I ask her to do that? And so don't skirt too far into like, oh, it's a cult, or oh, it's bad, or oh, any of those ideas, because I think you're going to get too far off of what the lesson is for you and your soul's plan with her in this lifetime. It's a great segue into the Awaken Inner Wisdom community. I would love for you to apply. It's a place where like-minded souls can come and get into deeper discussions. So on this show, we talk about lots of topics that all relate to relationships and helping us shift and unravel our minds. And so there's great discussion that happens here in a Q&A format, but in the Awaken Inner Wisdom membership, you'll actually be with me in a closed private Zoom group. And each week we have a really in-depth discussion about a topic and then an open forum where people can comment and go deeper. And it's created specifically for people like you who are looking for their tribe, who are looking for those higher conscious conversations. And look, I know we all have tons of friends and people in our lives, but a lot of times those friends aren't on the same spiritual ascension journey that we are. We can only go so far with them on certain topics, and then it's like, okay, we kind of capped out. But you desire to have deeper, richer discussions in a place where you can take things that you really want insights on, or you really want to anchor in a different way. And so the Awaken Inner Wisdom membership is a beautiful place to do that. There is an application process, so please go to bethbell.me and you'll see where to apply there. I'd love to hear from you. And there's lots of other resources on bethbell.me. There's the Awakening and Healing Handbook, the Herpes Handbook, the Psychedelics Resource Guide, lots of other things on there. There's the flower gazing module. So if you're someone who's having a hard time with meditation or just quieting the mind, I talk about how I was really able to leverage the flowers into meditation. Actually, the universe really guided me into photographing flowers and observing them and really leveraging that as a way to quiet my mind. So there's lots of resources over there. I can't wait to hear from you. As always, if you have a question and you're watching this on replay, submit the questions to bethbell.me/question, or you can put them here in the comments on my YouTube channel. So I look forward to seeing you again next week. In the meantime, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you know when the next live is, 11:11 on every Sunday. All right, wishing you only bliss and love until next week. Namaste.